This is Unvarnished, the Bible in the Raw. Gene the Journeyman Struther has described himself as preacher, pauper, president. He has lived on both sides of the tracks and brings a one-of-a-kind perspective and style to Bible preaching and teaching. Today, Gene begins a new series of sermons he calls Pride and Prejudice. It is based on Proverbs 6, verses 16 through 19, which reveal 7 things God hates. Today's sermon is The Devil Wears Prada, a look at the proud look. Get ready for the unvarnished truth. Now, here is your host, Gene Struther.
Welcome to a new sermon series. This one is called Pride and Prejudice. Don't get on God's bad side. Our scripture reference for this series, which is going to be 7 sermons, is from Proverbs chapter 6, verses 16 to 19. Here are 6 things that the Lord hates, writes Solomon. 7 that are an abomination to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that make haste to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and one who sows discord among brothers. 7 things that are an abomination to the Lord: haughty eyes, lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, heart that devises wicked plans, feet that are quick to run to evil, a false witness breathing out lies, and someone who sows discord among brothers. So these 7 things will be the bedrock on which these 7 sermons are built. So let's get the ball rolling. Our first sermon today is, I've given it the title, The Devil Wears Prada, a look at the proud look. I may be in danger of forfeiting my man card here, but I have a confession to make. I do enjoy some rom-com movies. Some of them I really enjoy. And other movies that don't necessarily include blood and guts. Now, I do like my Dirty Harry and Gladiator type movies, but don't get me wrong there. I like a good Western. I like a good shoot 'em up. But I raised 3 girls, you know. I bet I've watched Pollyanna at least a dozen times and probably closer to 2 dozen. I've also been married my whole adult life, so I've seen my share of romantic comedies and what some would term girl movies. One movie I really enjoyed was The Devil Wears Prada. Now, obviously, I wasn't the only one. It was a hit, and Hollywood being Hollywood and running out of ideas. As I deliver this sermon, we anticipate the release of The Devil Wears Prada 2. The first one was a peelback of the high-stakes game of high fashion. It had the usual feel bad and then feel good Hollywood arc. And that is all I have to say about that. I'm not speaking on the movie or its storyline. I'm just ripping off the title and saying, yes, 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 he does. The Devil Wears Prada. The original sin was not in the Garden of Eden. We like to pin sin on Eve. Now, the original sinner was in the garden, but the original sin was well before that encounter between the serpent and the woman in Eden. The prophet Isaiah saw in his heavenly vision the original sinner caught in his sin and cast from his place of honor because of it. In his prophecy, Isaiah chapter 14, he records it in verses 12 to 15. This is how it reads: "How you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. How you are cut down to the ground, you who weakened the nations. For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation on the farthest sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet you shall be brought down to Sheol," interpreted as hell, "to the lowest depths of the pit." It's funny to think about, I guess. Maybe not a thought we often have, but Satan was a shining star. He was a glorious being of incredible beauty and given a very high, lofty position of honor above the other angels. And all of this went to his head. When Solomon tells us the Lord hates a proud look, that statement has history behind it. You see, Satan is the original sinner, and pride is the original sin. When Satan approached Eve, he didn't appeal to lust or lasciviousness. What did he appeal to? He appealed to pride. Or, maybe to put it in a better way, he made pride appealing. We have the encounter in the first 4 verses of Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, has God indeed said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said to the serpent, well, we may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree that is in the midst of the garden, God said, you shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die. Then the serpent said to the woman, you will not surely die. For God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Now, in this intercourse between them, this dialogue, both of them do a disservice to what God actually said. Satan tries to make God seem unreasonable by suggesting God said, well, look at all these beautiful fruit trees and God's keeping you from eating any of their fruit. He knew better than that. And the woman had to correct him, said, no, we can eat the fruit of all these trees except for one. But then she misquotes God because she says that God told them, don't eat it and don't touch it or you will die. That's not what God said. He didn't say, hey, look, even if you touch it, you'll die. He didn't say that. So God was misrepresented on both ends. But Satan here is, he's planting a seed of doubt, but he's also appealing to something inside her, something latent, something that he may be able to awaken in her. So here comes the devil in snakeskin, slippery, slithering, sneaky, saying, don't you see what's happening here? Can't you see how God is not giving you your just deserts? He's keeping you down. Don't you have any pride? Don't you want to know what he knows? You deserve better. He sounds like every other commercial on television and half the posts on social media. How many car commercials, how many other commercials have this message of, you deserve that new car. You deserve a better body. You deserve this. You deserve it. I mean, everything is appealing to what we deserve. It is an appeal to pride, entitlement. Let me tell you, entitlement is not appealing to God. Why is that? Because the entitled forget the true nature of what it means to be among the fallen, and being entitled eliminates God's grace. That Prada look. You know what God hates? That smug look on your face. A proud look. And you hate it too, admit it. Haven't you ever said, oh, I'd like to wipe that smug look right off his face, about somebody else who seemed a little too full of themselves? Something like that. I think about the people who hate Trump, universally hate that smugness that he exudes. That's the first thing they hate about him. Before they think about his politics, before they think about his actions, anything else, it's that smugness. It's that how the way he exudes that confidence, or whatever you want to call it. Nobody wants to have someone look down their nose at them or feel like they do. You know the people, they don't have to say I'm better than you. They just wear it on their face and it becomes irksome to you. We have built a society. We've built a society comfortable with strutting. Haven't we? I mean, Football season's around the corner. Just watch a football game. You'll see what I'm saying. We've built a society comfortable with strutting, from the runways to the highways, from the accessories to the accomplishments. The whole mantra is flaunt it if you got it. Gone are the billionaires in overalls like Sam Walton. Gone are the megastars surprised and thankful to be where they are. Gone are the humble beauties. Everyone is proud, proud, proud. We even dedicate an entire month of the year to the word pride. Pride Month. And I know pride is a touchy subject. People are proud, and they are proud of being proud. And there are some iterations of pride that are more palatable than others. A proud parent is not the same as an arrogant achiever. There's family pride, there's corporate pride, there's national pride. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. That kind of pride. We have all kinds of pride. I'm proud of my kids. I'm proud of my country. I'm proud of my job, whatever it is. So where does pride cross the line? Where does pride become something God cannot stomach? Well, pride that is self-sufficient crosses the line. Pride that says you deserve your good fortune or good looks or whatever it is crosses the line. Essentially, pride does today what it did in heaven in the eons past, in Lucifer's case. It makes us think we don't need God. We got this all by ourselves. What do we need with God? We have basically bought the lie that was sold in the Garden of Eden. Not basically, we've bought it lock, stock, and barrel. We've bought it wholesale. You shall be as gods. What do you need with God? You can be your own God. You build things that are incredible. You've built a world, and you've even built a world that goes beyond the physical realm. You've built the world of artificial intelligence. What do you need with God? We got this all by ourselves. Pride that is self-sufficient crosses the line. Pride that is self-congratulatory crosses the line. This kind of pride can seep into the spiritual realm very subtly, and when it does, it is detestable and deadly. Case in point, Luke chapter 8, verses 9 to 14. Jesus spoke a parable to some who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and they despised others. And he said this, 2 men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself, God, I thank you that I am not like other men, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this tax collector. I fast twice a week. I give tithes of all that I possess. And the tax collector, standing afar off, would not so much as raise his eyes to heaven, but beat his breast, saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone, listen to this, everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. Ah, the prayer of pride. I've heard it. I've heard that very prayer. And you know what? I've heard it in sermons. One preacher pretending to be empathetic to another pastor who has fallen into sin and is now on the outs. And that preacher stands up before his congregation and he tells this sad story and he says, but for the grace of God, there go I. I've heard preachers in preacher fellowship meetings say those very words about someone else who fell. But for the grace of God, there go I. Listen, jerk, there you go, grace and all. You are every bit the dirty, rotten sinner that fellow is. Every bit. Sin as deep, dark, and endemic in your heart as in his. Grace is greater than all your sin. and reaches you despite yourself, not because of yourself, not because you withstood, not because you stood up against whatever temptations that person fell to. That's not what makes you better. It took as much of Jesus' blood to save your sorry hide as it did his. So stop saying that. Stop saying, but for the grace of God, there go I. There you go anyway. And the grace of God came after you at a dead run to catch you and redeem you. And you're going to pray the prayer of a Pharisee? You're going to say, oh Lord, except for your grace, I'd be just like that old tax collector over there. But look at me. I'm still doing all the good. Psst. You may as well not preach that sermon. You may as well not pray that prayer. That person who fell has a better chance of going home justified than you do. If it seems I'm a little testy on this subject, well, I am, brother. I am. My pride has been hurt, and that's the best thing that ever happened to me so far. It needed to be hurt. It needed to be exposed and dealt with, and it still does. I find it still does. I thought, boy, someday I'd wake up and I'd be past all those battles. You know, someday I thought getting older and wiser and all that would make the road easier. It doesn't. Even aging has its own new issues that you have to deal with. I'm telling you, I still have to fight it. I still have to fight it every stinking day. Every stinking day. I thank God for grace that pursues me relentlessly. So, what kind of pride crosses the line? Pride that is self-congratulatory. Pride that is self-sufficient. And pride that flaunts crosses the line. Pride that flaunts. It's not a sin to have nice things. It is a sin for nice things to have you. Let me pause there and say that one more time. It's not a sin for you to have nice things. You got a nice car, I'm so happy for you. You got a nice house, I'm happy for you. You got a nice job, you got a nice income, you got a nice nest egg. Bless your heart. It's not a sin for you to have nice things at all. But it is a sin for those nice things to have you. You don't have to be the devil to wear Prada, but you can be if you're not careful. Pride is the original sin, and it's part of every other sin on the books. Lust, greed, avarice, selfishness, you name a sin, and I promise you, somewhere mixed into it is pride. There's no wonder God hates a proud look. Pride is the root of it. The root of it. I'll leave the last word in the hands of the wise one, King Solomon, the one who gave us the 7 things to look out for, because God's not having them. So here's what Solomon said in chapter 16, verses 18 and 19. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. It's better to eat the bread of peasants with humility in your heart than to drink the wine of kings with arrogance. Rare is the individual who can remain humble and grounded in either place. Rare and precious and loved by God and people. My name is Gene. Some still call me preacher. And this is sermon number 1. I'll see you next week for sermon number 2. God bless you and yours.